And crypto especially operates so dominantly on Twitter, where people will flex as much as possible their victories in the bull market, and they'll never really disclose their losing trades. They'll mostly just only talk about their winning trades. And so
That's
crypto
what I
people,
do,
I think,
David.
of course, that's what I only ever have winning
Yeah,
trades.
that's right.
Everyone knows this.
No.
And so, like, I think, especially in crypto, which kind of has like an unhealthy relationship with wealth flexing in a bull market on Twitter, where we all live 24/7 during a bull market, we are especially susceptible to this. And we use this meme on Bankless that when the bull market started, we've done a few of these, we put on our bull market goggles. Like, there are our beer goggles, there are drunk goggles. As the bull market goes on, like, you are deeper and deeper into the party, and you are getting less and less sober as time goes on. And so I think, like, the way that I would try and, like, give advice for crypto people entering the cycle is, don't look at your neighbor in envy. Do your best to be grounded and look at your past self and look at your net worth or your investing successes based on past expectations of yourself, which is your anchor, rather than your neighbor on crypto Twitter who just flex their really good trade or their really valuable NFT.
The thing though, David, like what you just said is 100% true, and I agree with every word of it. It's ridiculously hard to pull off in practice, because just like from an evolutionary perspective, if you're competing for resources, competing for spouses, competing for food, competing for land, it doesn't matter how much I have. All that matters is I have more than you. That's the only thing that matters. So when you look at other people getting rich, the New York Times article, everyone's getting hilariously rich and you're not. That very intentionally, very skillfully is just like a dagger of inferiority to the people who read it. And even as someone I'm not going to say I'm immune to bubbles, but I think I'm close to it in terms of I have very little FOMO, not zero, but I feel I probably have a below average amount of FOMO. But even there's periods during those booms where I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. Am I missing something here? Like, am I the idiot here? It's very easy to second guess everything that you believe about markets when people around you who you are, even if it's just implicitly competing with, are doing much better than you. It's a hard thing to sit back and watch.
So Morgan, I just want to tie this off because it's so important. I look around me in crypto and I see a lot of wealthy people, and so few of those people are actually happy, even in crypto, right? So, like, why is that? What is the key to happiness? Is it this idea of lowering our expectations? Like, it's how can hopefully if we're investing well and doing these things well, we will be more wealthy than we were previously. That doesn't equal happiness. How do we get off this envy this envy treadmill here, the trap that we fall into all of the time?
So there's a book written about 10 years ago by a guy named Dan Harris. The book is called 10% Happier. And the book is about meditation and how meditation can change your life. And he called it 10% Happier because he got tired with all the bullshit about meditation will make you, like, turn you into the Buddha, completely and utterly transform your life. And he was like, no. Meditation's great, but if you do it right, you might become 10% happier. Let's be real about what this is, like, how much the needle is going to move here. And I think you could write a very good book about money called 10% Happier. Because can money buy happiness? Yeah, of course. Can it make you happier? Of course it can. Can it remove anxiety and uncertainty? Yes. But maybe that's 10% of what's actually going to make you happy. Because the calculation for happiness includes, like, are you in a loving relationship? Do you have good friends? Are you healthy? Do you have a clear conscience? Do you sleep 8 hours at night? Do you, like, all these other things that have nothing to do with money? And so there's a great quote from Rick Rubin, the music producer, where he says, "You cannot become truly depressed until you achieve your dreams, because then you realize that you feel no different than you did before. And then you're filled with hopelessness." So it's easy when you don't have a lot of money to say, if only I had more money, all my problems would go away. But then if you get more money, you're like, no, I feel the same. I'm just as anxious and depressed as I was before. And then you're hopeless because you're like, I used to have a sense of hope that money would make it better. But now that I have the money, I feel the same. And I realize it's not doing anything for me. So I think money can make you 10% happier. Like, having a lot of money can make you 10% happier. A lot of the very wealthy people who are unhappy, a lot of that is cause and effect, because what made them wealthy is an absolute fanatical relationship with entrepreneurism or investing or whatnot that has come at the cost of a lot of other things. It's come at the cost of their social life, their sleep, their health, all kinds of other things that's going to come, directly at the expense of. And so I think that's true. It's a combination of those two things. It's like, I think what most people really want is a simple life. They want independence and they want simplicity in their life. But what they're actually seeking is like high status. They're not seeking happiness. They're seeking status is what they're actually chasing, whether they know it or not. And status is a game that can't be won because there's always somebody who is richer and prettier and happier than you are. So if your goal is to just be happier and richer than the people around you, you're never going to win that game.
So,
and two, it's like the people who are the most fanatical about doing it are living just an inherently unbalanced life that's going to come at the expense of. So I think that's a lot of, and maybe to the question of like, what can we do about it? I mean, I think some people are more naturally inclined towards not needing to impress strangers, and others, whatever the deep rooted sense of insecurity is there. Every day they wake up, and even if they're not saying these words explicitly, the feeling is like, how can I show off to gain the attention of strangers in the world? And so I think that's a big part of it. And other people are like have more of that than others. But to me, the biggest financial liability is needing to impress other people. And if you can tamp down on that, that's the biggest move that you can make towards using money to actually make yourself happier.
If you enjoyed all of that, then you'll absolutely love the Bankless newsletter. Join over 300,000 fellow readers, all for free. Click below to sign up.